The things that we've been experiencing issues and frustration, sadness, hurt, or we've just seen constant cycles of negativity with in some type of way, these are things we've been experiencing from our past life. These are issues from the past life. Nothing ever stops. Everything is just, once again, levels of graduation and extends into, future experiences. All right? This is how we grow and accumulate different powers and gifts. And, those levels of graduation with our karma and things that we have to learn here takes us to different places. All right, we may need to be in different realms and realities in order to experience certain things. And it's important to look at all the things in your life, because life be lifing. And yeah, sometimes miscellaneous random things happen to us, and we have to learn how to respond to that, right, in order to show the growth in our character, or show our character in general. But when it comes into certain forms of karma, when you take a few seconds just to look at your life and look at the things that you've struggled with certain cycles of, it's some of the same traits. It's some of the same traits that lead into negativity or issues in different areas. So hypothetically speaking, to give more an example of what I'm trying to say, somebody that's too open, let's say somebody that has karma learning not to be too open in their partnerships, relationships in some type of shape or form. That trait doesn't just stay in romantic relationships. That trait goes into open business partnerships, group collaboration efforts, business relationships, relationships with your colleagues, co-workers. This trait may manifest, some type of situation that drains you with family in the home environment. So there's really just a few things that cause these constant cycles, and we need to be able to identify these things. And this is why sometimes we have to experience pain. This is why sometimes we have to suffer. I was having a debate with my friend the other day, and he was like, well, I don't feel like I need to suffer to be successful. The term successful could really be complex, because I feel like that's something people could define. Everybody could give their own definition to that. However, when there's something that's been haunting us, I don't even want to say haunting us, but when we've been dealing with certain forms of karma that's been pushing us to grow, experience in and out, and then it's getting to a point we have to experience something so intense for us to really start understanding why, we're dealing with a certain cycle. That takes severe measures at a point when the house is burning. So sometimes we have to suffer. Sometimes we have to go through pain. Sometimes we have to be hurt. Sometimes we have to be emotionally and mentally confused about something and look in the mirror and be like, damn, like how did I get myself into this? That question does wonders. That question will always be a frequent question with somebody trying to build a relationship with their subconscious and build self-awareness. How did I get myself in this situation? On the outside looking in, it could be a situation you was taken advantage of. Somebody took advantage of you, they robbed from you, stole from you, lied to you, hurt you. You still got to be able to look in the mirror and be like, how did I get myself in this situation? Spiritual accountability. So we have to suffer sometimes, family. And this may be very Capricorn moon rise-ish of me. This may be my Scorpio placements coming out. But this is reality. Do we have to suffer to have a fruitful experience or experience fruitful things? No. But to spiritually develop at times, depending on how deep some of us may be with certain forms of karma or certain forms of lessons that we haven't showed to God, universe, our spiritual family members, that we've learned, that we're confident in walking in that wisdom from that lesson and applying it if we have to again in different circumstances. Until we get to that point with certain forms of karma, we're always going to be liable to deal with some pain, to deal with some hurt, to deal with some depression, to deal with some lostness, to deal with some confusion, to deal with some despair, to deal with some forced isolation. One of the most important things somebody has ever told me in life in general was, life is about mountains and valleys. One moment you're in a valley, and you have to understand the only thing next is the mountain. Life is a series of mountains and valleys. This is a concept that really helps me a lot when I feel like I'm in dark spaces. Regardless of how much I'm into things from a spiritual perspective, this, that, and the third, everything is about application. We have the awareness, then there's application. So when I'm in some of my darkest moments, family, I try my best to reaffirm that concept that I'm in a valley right now. It's okay to even be content for a second with the feelings and emotions that come with being in the valley. You are a spirit going through a human experience. This may be my water. Now this may be my water stellium popping out now. I believe it's okay. I think this is a form of giving yourself grace and not neglecting the natural feelings and emotions, the natural fleeting emotions of life. Now, to choose to sink into it forever and not understand that it does take some type of action, attitude, and approach to see the mountaintop, that's when it's negative. All right? So you could take a day or two, stare at the ceiling, listen to some slow jams. It's never right time to say my... You could do your thing for a day or two. But at some point, we have to understand, us knowing that there's the mountaintop is the only next phase, is the chunk of the motivation for your attitude, your new attitude and approach towards not only overcoming being in the valley, but making sure when you're in the valley, you get everything you need to get out of the valley. You get all the new morals and ethics you need to get out of the valley. This new sense of an attitude and approach towards life that doesn't just stay in a phase when you're trying to get out of the valley. You do your best to maintain and sustain that attitude and approach towards life. Get all the juice out of your experiences. Nothing is by default. Everything is for a reason. You're hurt, you're dealing with certain cycles, get the juice, get the wisdom juice out of that orange. Squeeze it out. And this is how we could help ourselves to run into more favorable experiences. All right, while simultaneously growing, guys. Okay? So the pain, the suffering, the hurt, family, at times it's needed. It's needed. Okay? And the more that you're able to digest and understand that life itself is a series of mountains and valleys, regardless of how much healing work you do, or regardless of how much you've proved to yourself and you're walking in confidence with your manifestation and creative abilities, no matter how much you've overcame certain forms of trauma, insecurities, obstacles in your life, there will be another valley. There will be another valley. We will all have our fall from grace. How we deal with that fall is everything. How we deal with that fall is everything. Okay? So, message of the day. I love y'all, family. Peace.